Because of the prodigious life I led in my 20s and 30s, I had a heart attack in my 40s. They say you look like after 40, depends on how you behaved before you were 40. So I was pretty old and I had a heart attack when I was 45, which is very worrying, really. When you have a heart attack when you're 45, you think your life is going to be short and you look for ways of making it last longer by having an operation or by changing your lifestyle. So I dawned on me thinking about vegetarianism, which I had in the past, and we were all becoming aware of animals and their rights in that period too, the 80s, at least I was. And you just, it comes as a surprise when you discover that all sorts of other people were as well. It's a sort of collective unconscious. So that had been on my mind anyway, and I came across a survey which said that heart attack victims who became vegetarian added another 7 years or whatever it was, something like stopping smoking, which I did too, smoking tobacco after the first heart attack. So I reckoned I only ate a packet of sausages a week, so what was the big deal? And I wasn't really doing it for any great humanitarian principles or thou shalt not kill or anything like that. It was quite simply that vegetarians lived longer, and it would be sensible therefore to be a vegetarian. It didn't take a lot of thinking about. And as I say, one thing when I discovered how tasty Linda McCartney pies were, and the Linda McCartney sausages, they were just as tasty as anything of meat. So I became a vegetarian 20 odd years ago. But my attitude has changed slightly since then. And I do begin to see now I'm beginning to think of it as quite barbaric, actually. It might seem crazy to say that about something that everybody does. But war is barbaric, and we still do that too. In fact, I think Karl Marx said these actual words, that war is the last remnant of barbarism. And I believe eating our fellow creatures, it will be another element of barbarism which will disappear in time. People don't realise. They are eating flesh. I call them flesh eaters. People don't look at it like that. You use euphemisms and you get your head round it. But you're taking little baby animals, taking them from their mothers, you are killing them and you are eating them. Now, if that was necessary for you to stay alive, then fair enough. I would say the end justifies the means. Human beings have got to come before animals, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't. You don't have to eat it at all. I am healthier now. Enjoy my food just as much. I've never been a great eater anyway, since I became a vegetarian. And I am being helpful to, if you don't eat a creature, you're being more kind to it than you are if you do eat it. I was taught at the Socialist Sunday School. It didn't work out all right, the Socialist Sunday School coming, because I became a villain, didn't I? I lived on my wits on the streets for years. But one of the commandments in the young Socialist Sunday School was being kind to your all living creatures. And a lot of Eastern religion is based on this as well. But I won't say I'm kind to every little fly or insect, but I'm in awe of it in a way that religious people couldn't be. The absolute magic, the wonderment of life itself, and that something is there which wasn't there before. You can, whether you want to call that creation or put it down to some spirit in the sky, as I said to George Galloway, some big giant fairy in the sky did it all. You can go ahead, but I am in awe. Just any life at all. In fact, there's a Hammerstein law: 1,000 million miracles are happening every minute of the day. 1,000 million miracles. It's all a miracle. It doesn't take away the awe because I don't believe in God. In fact, it increases it. If it was some magic wizard in the sky, well, A kid just says, oh, well, it's a trick, you know, he's done it somehow. But how it and what it's all about, we have no way of knowing, except generally we've come to the conclusion that if we're in a group and we become a part of a group, that we will be a better individual. If we think about the group and the prospects of the group as well as our thoughts as an individual, then we will live in it. You will be a better person, and you will live in a better society. And the word "better" I know is relative, but I think once we get past the food, clothing, and shelter, that some measure of heroism should come into our lives. Take on big subjects, ban the bomb, change society, stop eating animals. And the more we join together, the Chinese one-child policy, it's one of the miracles of modern times, that a nation could come together because of its communist government and agree to stop producing enough more children, which will be more difficult to feed. And they have changed the prospects for millions, hundreds of millions of people by doing that. And the Western media and the Western general will not give them the credit for it, because they know it is only in a communist society, an organised society, a society of big government, not small government. I believe in government. Government is just people looking after each other. The nanny state they go on about, you know. Most of the bastards who complain most about the nanny state are nannies, you know, or have got nannies. But they don't want nannies for anybody else, because that's because they don't go on the dole or go on the sick or whatever, occasionally, like most working class people do. And that applies to their attitude to tax as well. But I talked about it on one of my other blogs, so I'll finish there for now. Bye. Cheers.